does look so weird.
Greetings, mortals, and welcome to a probably pretty short stream.
We are going to be doing a quick little stream right now as I have a few things that I need to accomplish as I move on toward finishing up Bharat. So, first of all, I've noticed that while we do have a sizable chunk of money coming out here, we do have a slight issue. Namely, we only have 48 ducats, and that's not quite enough. I want to comfortably, if I want to try to get this to be certainly going to work, I'd like to get that up to 52 if possible. I think that 52 is a good number to take as a baseline. So we're going to get rid of you. We don't need you. We're going to start doing this because I do not want to forget about a few little rebels or something. And basically, right now I'm going to be dropping my autonomy in a lot of different locations and doing the best I can to take control of this whole trade. So we have 1070 gold. We are going to immediately pop over here, say, hey, guess what? We have an emporium available, and we have the ability to give this to the Vaishyas. Info says it's going to increase by 1.3%. Let's see. They currently have a positive modifier, right? They actually have a lot of positive modifiers right now. Interestingly enough, the decline of the Vaishya caste is active, so they have a penalty, not an actual bonus. So this means that we are going to have to not give them this territory. This is going to just be... And it's fine. I don't need to give them any more territory. They already have plenty. So this is minus 16%. Let's go ahead and reduce the autonomy here. We have this province here. We can go ahead and reduce the autonomy here. This province here, reduce the autonomy. And we are going to start pumping these centers of trade. I probably should pump these ones later, though, because first we want to come down here and say, hey, stop, how's it going? You're at 0% autonomy. This is not my province. You cannot be reduced. So I could give you to the Vaishyas. That will reduce the problem there, but doing so would be troublesome. So Calicut has 14%, and it has too much thinger here. This is pretty easy to choose. Let's do this. We have 44%. Ah, right. We have a bunch of autonomy that was popped up by the Vaishyas, because the Vaishyas give you that huge autonomy penalty in all those provinces. So we're going to go ahead and do this. So that should help quite a bit, actually. Let's see, do that. Go ahead and pump that. Kutuk has none because it's my capital. This has some. And you have none to speak of. So actually, I don't even really necessarily need to lower the autonomy in these places, because the autonomy from production efficiency, trade power. So this is affecting manpower, force limit modifier, tax modifier. None of those are actually that relevant to determining what I'm looking for here. But that being said, they're going to take a little bit of my money away. So Doab over here is a like hyper relevant location. So we're going to want to pump these inland centers of trade. You here are a little bit close for comfort, honestly, but that's okay. Go ahead and do this. And now, do we have any rank 1s left? Yes, we do. This place here does not have an estate, and I don't actually have enough money for it. So I'm glad that I didn't upgrade this before, because it's at 71% autonomy, and that's quite a lot of autonomy. We also have this one, which is not part of a state. So we're going to go ahead and make this part of a state. We're going to core these. And that brought it from 75% to damn near 0. I like that. And that should help our trade power quite a significant sum here. This is the monies. This is us. We do not have an estate here. And we can drop our autonomy to 0. So it's kind of tempting to do all this later rather than right this second, because of the fact that we're close to getting some other stuff, but I do want to get this done now rather than later. I'll have plenty of provinces that I'm going to be taking over, and if I have a continuous stream of vassals that I'm annexing, I'll have a continuous stream of territories that I can reduce the autonomy on. So is that all this business done? Okay, I think we are ready to wait until next month and see what happens. That should have a pretty sizable influence on our income. We can go ahead and send you here. The other thing is that I'm going to take a look at my piece of paper that I have over here. It's actually not a piece of paper, but we can pretend. So my goal here is basically just to pull more power into Coromandel, and that will hopefully be what happens here. I guess we don't have to worry too much about most of these things. Do we have any things that we need to do here? So this increases liberty desire by 30%. What the heck is a logo? East Africa Company. What? Okay, we're going to completely ignore this because this is Zanzibar. I'm literally completely uncontested here. A little strange. So let's see here. Anything else that we need to do right this second? I don't think so. So we're going to see what happens when this ticks. Okay, so we're at 77%. This is at 49.4. So 49.4 is not... It's not terrible. but it's not as good as I want it to be. So we can go ahead and upgrade this. And we're going to start upgrading this kind of stuff over time. But I think that that's... the basic setup that I wanted to get done immediately. Anything else of import? Anything else that needs to be done? We have an income of plus 93 right now. Oh man. 93. Not too shabby. It's, quite a lot of income. So how has that influenced our overall net income? So that increased, I think, our net income by about 10% overall. That had an overall, a pretty massive influence on our net income. Pretty nice, actually. I'm very happy with that. It's amazing how just like a little bit of cleanup can completely change the name of the game. So let's see here. What else do we have left to do? So we're currently leading a vassal in Soyo. And we have somebody fabricating a claim on Sind. Are we going to start annexing another vassal? I don't think so. Not yet. I don't think I want to annex Palembang yet. Holy shit. Okay, that's fine. So what do I want to do here? I'm basically going to be getting, once I form Bharat, I'm going to be getting just free claims on everything. So, as an example, one of the things that I can do is I can just declare on Pasai and then take control of all that crap. And I can give it to Palembang if I want. Don't actually need to. So power projection plus 25. I do not actually have my cultural group thing. So multicultural nation is easy enough. 3 trade companies is not done yet, actually. Potential for a large army, I think, is done. Absolutism is something that we'll be dealing with in 15 years. So we don't want to do too much cleanup right now because we do want to get that done. But for now, independence guaranteed by Delhi. Who do we want to vassalize, if anybody? Because I feel like the next thing on our agenda should be to just find more people to sort of integrate. You are Hindu. Kochi does not have a thing here, so that's fine. But I think one of the things that I'm going to be doing when we reach the age of absolutism is I actually think I'm going to take all of the territory away from all of the estates. I'm just going to basically take all of it away, remove all of the estates, and just consolidate all of those with pulling down the stuff, the autonomy. And that's going to generate a pretty decent amount of unrest, but it's fine. We have a little bit to go before we get Diplo rank 14. Rank 15 is the point where I can get my next important admin power, which is going to be when I have 5 more states, I have actually already reached the limit on the number of states I can have. Even with both expansion and admin, I've already got max states. So I think I'm going to be getting diplomatic next because I've spent a lot of effort on just annexing people by just sort of throwing diplomats at the problem. And having 2 extra diplomats as well as an extra diplo relation, I would end up with 7 diplo relations base. And because of the fact that I automatically get a +2 to my diplo skill, I feel like it's very valuable, particularly because my next guy is going to be terrible at admin. So, do I want a big vassal somewhere? Or do I want a small vassal? I'm kind of debating what I want to do with. Whoa, Ethiopia! How's it going? Are you ready to be vassalized? They are not ready to be vassalized. So looks like Ethiopia has a lot of cores. Distance between borders is pretty significant, though. It's tempting to take control of more of the Gulf of Aden. At the moment, it's not that relevant, though. But we do have 24% of the trade value here. So as soon as we get another merchant, we can send a quarter of the value here south into Zanzibar, which would be nice. Let's see. We also have Hormuz over here. The issue is that it's very slow and obnoxious to try and take territory that way. But I guess I'm going to be getting the permanent claims soon. And I don't know all of the permanent claims I'm going to get. I should be getting permanent claims on Malaya soon. So I don't know that I need to really like vassalize anyone. Luwu is interesting. Luwu is this green nation. Luwu apparently had control of at least one of these. So the conquest in Malaya is probably going to wait until after I've got the other stuff. I think I'm probably best off just going through and just quickly vassalizing and annexing a bunch of little nations over here, to be honest. Unless I wanted to try to vassalize somebody over here, maybe. Oh, one thing that I wanted to check is I want to see there's this mechanic. So requesting a charter company requires at least 681 from you. Interesting. So that's something I'll have to look at later after I'm willing to unpause for a long period of time, once I've got my stuff in order. So I guess one thing that I need to do is I do need to fabricate a claim on not Ichwa, probably, because Ichwa is currently at war with the Spaniards. Maybe Chimu? 2, 3, 4. There's 4 coastal provinces that Chimu has right now. So I could take all 4 of these. Are you in the right region? Nope. No. All the region of colonial Peru is currently actually. Yeah. So I would need to go into Charca. I guess actually I could declare on Quito. If I get a declaration on you, obviously I can't do it yet, but if I actually just fabricate a claim on Quito, they are part of colonial Colombia. So, and it looks like actually there's only 3 provinces in Chimu. They are actually allied with ICMA. So, if I were to declare on Chimu, basically, if I were to just declare on these guys, I could quickly annex my way through this, and I'd be able to take this entire coastline, which would be pretty nice. Oh, the alternative is... rather than declaring war, I could actually diplo-vassalize. They don't even know I exist. But I don't think I want to do that. That seems like more effort than it's worth. Especially since diplo-vassalizing, I wouldn't be able to get the free parts. The free parts would cost at that point, and that's just silly. So it looks like these guys are going in to deal with their rebels. We have... Nice. We have a claim on this territory. So what that means is that the second that they finish this, Britain has to deal with it getting just stolen from them by my vassal, because there's no way on earth that they're going to be able to stand up against... There's no way that this vassal here is going to be able to take on my vassal. So... we can easily just like start a war in the colony at that point. And that'll make things easy for us. Anything else that we need to do as preparations for tomorrow? I mean, I'm not going to be really unpausing right now because I just want to I wanted to get certain things done today rather than wait until tomorrow and potentially forget a decent bit of this stuff. So some of the important stuff was getting this to the estate. For instance, what is the unrest here? It's too high to justify doing that. Oh, this has 24%. So I can reduce the local autonomy here, but this is not a trade thing. So yeah, I want to keep my local autonomy if I can. So 0.2 per month means every year it's going to go down by about 2%. So this is actually going to, this is all going to reach 0 before the age anyway. Or not reach 0, but certainly get below 10. So if it's below 10, then I can't drop it. So anything else we need to do? My guess is that we're going to basically just start diplo-vassalizing somebody. We can basically just expand east here. Com is actually vassalable, Doesn't look like it right now, but they have a 53 from distance between borders. So I actually have the ability to vassalize them. I just need to vassalize someone in between first. So Tsang has subjects of its own. That's a tributary status with Lumbuwan. Is that this? So I could vassalize U and just vassal annex them if I wanted. The problem is that they're in Lhasa, and that's not. Well, the other thing is that I could start. Well, having permanent vassals is a little difficult when you're going through as much diplo-vassalization as I am. Because as you start vassalizing people over and over and over again, you start accruing just massive hits. Like, we have 79 on Vijayanagara, and they're a very fresh vassal. Right? When did we get... We can't annex them already, right? Yeah. So it's been over 10 years, but I don't think it's been much more than 10 years. So, let's see here. Candy is doing its thing. The thing about Candy is that I don't really need to worry too much about them. I'm not... Candy isn't pulling trade out of the node, they're keeping it in the node. So since they're keeping it in the node, I don't have to worry about that. Right now, we are the #1 trade node in the world. So that's good. And we should be able to consolidate power a little bit by increasing our control over Gujarat. It might not seem at first like control over Gujarat is that important, but the more of the provincial trade power we have here, the more is getting shunted upstream. In addition, we are probably going to be declaring on Delhi pretty much immediately. Khorasan and Guj. So Guj is right there. So Guj is a 13 military. So they're not... And Khorasan is a 1 province minor. Not a super great alliance chain that you've got here. So if I was to declare on these guys, Guj is going to be potentially big, but probably not. I think Guj is quite small. Guj has 11,000 troops, so they have about as many troops as the 1 province minor that was up here did. Did that 1 province minor get eaten? No, Yarkand. They have about the same number of troops as Yarkand. And they do have a military that's behind the time, so they're not terribly relevant. What is their force limit? 13. So yeah, this is just 1 province, or one provinces probably. Alright, so next is Delhi. Delhi itself has 42,000 troops, which is quite a substantial number. They have basically 1 proper army. And how many? They have 11 artillery regiments. So I think I'm going to need to build another stack of cannons. That, or I could build just an entire thing here. This costs 14 maintenance, which is very cheap, and it only costs 555 to build. It costs 24,000 manpower, but our manpower is fine now. I don't typically rely on mercs. I think mercs are really expensive, and I like to use the manpower that I have. So, I mean, I guess the advantage of mercs is that you have the ability to just sort of sit and just completely attrition out your armies. And it allows you to build more cannons because you have all that manpower for it, I guess. But I figure once you have a manpower pool this large, you can pretty much just use it. But I do definitely understand why people tend to prefer mercs. So let's see here. We have. I think in part the reason that people prefer mercs is because mercs are much more versatile in warfare if you're fighting like hard fights against other players, and so a lot of the meta is kind of defined by PvP. So I think what we're probably going to do is I think we're going to declare on Delhi. While we are in the war with Delhi, we can start working on getting the fabrication on Jaunpur. We need this province from Jaunpur. We're going to take control of Delhi and Central Doab. That's going to give us actually a pretty massive boost to our control here, because it doesn't look like it, but Doab is actually a center of trade as well. And so these two provinces are worth 40 provincial trade power. And that 40 provincial trade power is turning into 60-ish. So that's a quarter of their trade power just taken and given to us. So that'll put us substantially over the top in terms of who has more total trade power. But more importantly, that's just more trade that's being shunted over here into our coffers. So my guess, based off of what I'm seeing here, is we're going to be taking... They have 8/7 of the trade that we do. So that's actually really easy to do because we're 27%, and that 27% is only 1% off of 28%. So we would be going from Am I thinking about this correctly? We currently have... No, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know what math I was trying to do there. But clearly I am very tired. I have a suspicion that I'm close to the correct mathematical calculation here, and I'm just confused. I think that I'm going to get something around the lines of 4% extra, so I'll be sitting at 31%. Do not quote me on that, because I did not do any calculation for that. That's just my guesswork based off of the numbers that I had in my head before my brain broke down and stopped working completely. I have been up for a very long time at this point. It's been about 24 hours that I've been awake. So I'm not fully with it. At any rate, we have the ability to take this last thing from them. The Bengal node, we actually are going to have to take over all this stuff from Ava in order to get really good control over it. But I think it should be fine. I don't think we need to get that much control over it. If I was going to start again at some point, and I probably will once they have made the changes to the dynamics of this stuff. Once they've changed the estates and all that kind of stuff, it'll be fun to try an Orissa run again. But sorry, brain broke again. I don't know. Anyway, I think that I have clearly demonstrated that I am tired and that I should stop streaming, because this is kind of silly. I just wanted to get a little bit of this stuff done, and most importantly, get this diplomat free, because getting the diplomat free allows me to actually check things by going over to people and fake sending a diplomat just to check what would happen if I did. And yeah, so that's going to be it for today. So thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure to do a little bit of maintenance for the next stream for you. And I hope to see you again next time when we are going to do not maintenance, but the formation of Bharat. I don't think it's going to be hard to do. We have 2 provinces that we already have the claims for. We're going to get a claim over here, which I think we're just going to take this, even though we don't have the claim. We're going to take Thata here, and we're just going to take Mansura. I'm just going to take both. It's fine. These guys are Sunni, so I do have to be a little concerned about aggressive expansion. We've already got a considerable amount of aggressive expansion here, and we're going to be taking some really big provinces off of Delhi. This is about 50% war score just for these 2. So we're going to be taking a lot of aggressive expansion off of this. We're going to take 32% off of this. Bear in mind that this is a... No, what nation? Are you Sunni? Delhi is a Sunni nation. I did not realize that. I thought that Delhi was a Hindu nation. So Delhi is Sunni. That means that all of these people are going to be aggroing on top of each other. That's going to be fun. But yeah, so we're going to get some aggressive expansion. It's all going to be fine. It's not going to be too big of a deal. And we will just roll with it as it comes. So thank you everyone for watching. And I hope to see you again next time.